Hello everybody, welcome back to the next video. Today we're going to be talking about something called a for loop. So I'm going to write a comment for loop. So what is a for loop? Let's start by writing out the syntax for a for loop. So you say for, kind of like the if statement, you just say for parentheses and then curly braces. And now the parentheses could say something like this. The int I is 0, semicolon, I is less than 10, and I plus plus. So what does this mean? Well, the for loops, they are loops, so they're going to run a certain amount of times. So in this case, this for loop is going to run 10 times. Why is it going to run 10 times? Well, that's because we're starting from 0, and we're going to go up by 1, and then the for loop is going to stop at 10. So that means that this for loop is going to run 10 times. That is because we're starting from 0. So the first time that this for loop runs, when you use the variable I, it's going to be 0 at first. But the next time that it runs, it's going to go up by 1. And so the I will be 1. So for example, let's print out the I. So you could see that we're starting from 0, we're printing out the I, and then when the code that's in the curly braces is done, we repeat the loop, go up by 1, check if the I is less than 10 yet, and then if this is still true, that the I is less than 10, then we're going to continue the code. So the next time it becomes 1, then 2, then 3, all the way up to 9. So the moment that I is 9, we're going to print out the I, which is 9, go back up to the for loop. We're going to increment the I by 1. And now 10 is not less than 10. So what that means is we're not going to run this statement and we're going to quit the for loop. So the reason why we don't print out 10 is because we stop before this statement turns false. So let's say that instead of printing out the I want to print out a word like hello. This word is also going to print out 10 times. There we go. So this time we're not using the variable I to print the I out, but instead we're using it to make this code run a certain amount of times. So let's go back to printing out the I. And let's look at the step. So this is called the step, right? We're stepping up by 1. However, we could just change this to 2. The I is going to increment by 2. And now if we choose to run the code, it's going to start at 0, go up by 2, then 4, then 6, then 8. So it goes up by 2 for every time that this for loop runs. So the first time it's going to start off at 0, then it's going to go up by 2, and then it prints out 2, and then it goes up by 2 again, it's 4, then 6, then 8. But the moment that it's 8, it's going to go up, back up to the for loop. It's going to go up by 2, it's going to become 10. 10 is not less than 10, so we're not going to print out 10, and we're going to quit. So let's make a variable called x and then set this to 10. And we could use this for loop to increment the x for every time that we're going to run this for loop. So this plus plus is a shorthand for x is the x plus 1, right? So this is just a shorter way of saying that the x's value is going to go up by 1. All right, so now let's run this code. And so now you see that nothing gets printed out because we did not print out the x. So right after the for loop, let's see what happened to the x. So now the x is 15 because for every time that we run this loop, the x will go up by 1. And because of the fact that we're stepping by 2 and the limit is 10, that means that the x will only go up by 1 5 times, right? 10 divided by 2, it's going to run 5 times. So it's 10 plus 5, and then this comes out as 15. So this is the very basic form of using this for loop. You can even change the starting variable to something like 3 or 2, or you could set it to a variable like x. You can even change this to some bigger number, or you could set this less than or equal to 20. So I hope that you learned a lot about the for loop, and in the next video we're going to talk about the while loop. Thank you for watching this video. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video.